Hi, hello, welcome back to another Onkruid video. Welcome back to Megabonk. It's been a while since I've played on camera. I have something to confess to you guys. My last run, can you see your previous runs anywhere? You probably can't, right? Well, you can't see it in friends because it was this run. My last run, I played with Calcium, which I hadn't done on camera yet before, but I played with him at my friend's house. And I also just completed tier 2. I'm sorry. I am sorry for doing it off camera. Let's try and use Calcium for the challenge, right? Which we've unlocked some new things now. Let's try and go for another fragile run, and maybe afterwards, if we can't finish it, let's do something else, because Calcium fragile is gonna be difficult. He did become my favorite hero quite quickly, my favorite character quite quickly, but I do feel like I am prone to take some fall damage with this guy because he just flies over the map after a while. Let's go for a projectile count tome right from the get-go. And we have opened a lot of pots already, so we can open a chest right at the start. I was hoping for a wrench to make our shrine speed a little bit quicker, but hey. Sometimes you don't get what you want in life, you know? Why did I play off camera? Because I'm a self-centered asshole that wants to have fun and doesn't want to have his entire life revolve around productive things, goal-oriented things, and making things that other people can enjoy so that he can alleviate some of his people-pleasing needs at every single moment of his puny existence as a mortal human. But additionally, because I was having a bit of a rough evening. It doesn't really matter why for the scope of this video, but I was having a bit of a rough evening. I was looking for something that could comfort me, you know? And I just shot up on heroin earlier. My coke ran out earlier that week, so the only thing remaining was some nice gaming. And then I thought, okay, what game is gonna be the most satisfying for me at this point in time? And Megabonk quickly rose to the occasion. And I just felt like, okay, these are some prime Megabonking hours. I didn't necessarily mean to then complete an entire tier 2 run. That was not really what I intended to do, but sometimes things just pop off, you know? And I was thinking about throwing my run away on purpose, just so that I could show my tier 2 completion on camera, but that didn't quite butter my egg roll, you know. So in the end I decided I'm coping for a second. I'm listening to my needs, and my needs tell me to play some Megabonk right now. It's a bit of a healthier alternative to all the drugs I just summed up in forms of coping. I wanted to listen to what I needed. I wanted to cut myself some slack. And I really wanted to enjoy just a nice and calm, short and sweet. I don't want any of these. I do want this. A nice, short and sweet Megabonk run. But that is why we have made a lot of progress off camera. And I'm sorry, because normally when I play these types of games, I love showing every single step of the way. That's why I have a bazillion Souls and Survivors videos on my channel, because I didn't want to make any off-camera progress. I broke my own rule. You can chastise me. I don't want extra jumps. It's gonna kill me. You can chastise me. You can kill me. You can come to my house, strangle me. It's all okay. I understand. I accept my punishment. I accept the consequences of my actions. But I stand by it. I stand by what I said. I love this YouTube channel. I love throwing shit out there for other people to watch, especially since I've gotten a lot of positive feedback on the Megabonk videos. I think people are just glad that Onkruid is back, and the medium in which I returned didn't really matter all that much, because this game is quite straightforward, but it's fun to look at and fun to... It has some nice dopamine-inducing sounds, but it shouldn't be my main priority. If I feel a conflicting need, and the conflicting need is really about my own mental health, I guess that is a little bit more important at this stage. If I was making boatloads of money, I might think differently right now, because I would think, hey, let's earn a quick book. Well, let's earn a buck, which would then earn me a quick book, because that's anything I spend my money on is mainly like books and food, but sometimes also eat books, because I think that is a great approach to life. If you can only spend money on one thing, spend it on books. Just put some salt and pepper, maybe some nutmeg on those pages. Freshly ground nutmeg is what works best for me, I've noticed most of the time throughout my years of eating books. And then, you know, everything comes up Millhouse, because you are both enriching your brain with the literature you are consuming, and you are providing your body with some much needed sustenance to eat more books in the future. Libraries hate to see this guy coming. Give me more projectiles and give me a shady guy. I shouldn't care about max HP at all. I have enough movement speed already. So I think this is fine because, well, upon taking damage, sending out a shockwave, that's not gonna be something to write home about, because upon taking damage, I die, my man. I wonder if any of my friends have ever cleared out the fragile stage. I think they might have. My buddy Wim, love him to death, salt of the earth. He's a standout guy. He doesn't need his chair either. He's a fun human being, and he's a doctor. I don't know why I keep spewing out random facts about him. Maybe trying to dox him without really obviously trying to dox him. I digress. Has been influenced by me into playing Megabonk, which is a big honor. Oh yes, I love that. Which is a big honor, but he has been sending me some of his crazy runs, and first of all, it got me rock solid hard, because I like it when I influence people, but second of all, this is such a stupid position for me to be in, so I should move out of there instead of just looking at my situation and not doing anything about it. I was also just jealous. Jealous because he was playing the game and I didn't really make the time to play Megabonk lately. That was greedy. I thought my shield would prevent me from dying, but I guess that is idle hope. Let's unlock another weapon, is what I would say if I would have enough silver. Let's just unlock both items, a difficulty increase, and using an interactable summons ghost. Okay. Let's go for another calcium run, because again, he is my favorite character. And let's try another challenge, shall we? Yeah, okay, I'll do this. I'll do turbo mode. I want to know what the silver gain upgrade entails. Is it permanent, and is it permanent then for everything you do in the game or not? That was a lot of explaining to do for why I made some off-camera progress, but hey, I'm here now. I'm here, I'm ready to entertain you again. What did I do today? It is a nice Sunday. It was a... Chests only cost 1. So wait, what is this challenge about? Because I thought chests would be almost unobtainably expensive, but I guess I turned things around. Because this is easy then, or what was the... I should have read things a bit more carefully, I'm sorry. Is the difficulty turned up immensely? Where do I see the difficulty stat? Where do I see the difficulty stat? Am I blind? Oh, it's only 7%. Okay, I guess we will figure out together what this challenge actually entails. I want to kill this elite, but I shouldn't stand around waiting for it. This is what I said before I heard the chest pop out, indicating that I did kill him already. Let's go for another bone upgrade. I spent it productively because I needed to catch up on some work. Because I had a bunch of fun days lately, but that often means that the work gets delayed a little bit. Had some client reports to write, had some reports to write for insurance companies to make sure that they keep giving my clients that need to stay at home their money to stay at home, which is absurd, but hey, we live in a goddamn society. I spent my time also preparing a little supervision moment that I have next week about a client whom I thought I was already interrupting often enough, and I thought... Yeah, I would love to get another piece of glass, I think. And movement speed we have enough of playing calcium. I thought I interrupted enough, and I thought I was focused enough on having her experience her emotions, stand still with her emotions and really experience them throughout the session, instead of just talking about situations and not feeling. But listening back to it again, it is a known problem on my end. My supervisor knows it as well, and she has told me multiple times that I'm trying to work on it, but apparently I still suck at it. I am a sucker for letting people tell their story, and letting them tell way too much of their story. And in that sense, losing track of their in-touchness with their experience, with their feelings. Allowing them to talk too much, allowing them to ramble too much, and then losing sight of what is actually important, which is how they feel about things. So again, my supervision is probably gonna focus on that, as it has been focused on multiple times before. But I think if something keeps plaguing you, then, well, focusing more supervision moments on it is a great approach. Because it indicates that you still need to work in it, you still need to grind, you still need to look at things differently in that department. So I am looking forward to the supervision, but I do notice more and more that it is the part of my therapist's education that I often... I don't... Yeah, I'll go for the XP tome. I don't like preparing those sessions. There's the bush. I don't think I want to interact with it in this challenge, because he will cause 9/11 if we disturb him. It takes so much time and effort to type out... Yeah, I would like some more chance to type out what you want to ask your question about. It really requires a bunch of effort. Sure. For a nice reward, just like this chest, power gloves, create a giant blast of damaging energy. Yeah, that's nice. That's really nice. For a nice reward, because I always feel very, very helped whenever I'm done with my supervision. But I feel like just going there and asking my question would be way more beneficial for the both of us than me having to spend all the time transcribing a session, a part of the session with a client. Ooh, thank you, Key. And typing out all that information about my client. Like, especially with my supervisor, because she likes to kind of read a couple of words that I have prepared, but in general, she just lets me talk about my client and lets me tell her what is going on. Yeah, I'll go for a fire staff. Lets me tell what's going on and what my question is, rather than reading it together. So it already is like a bit redundant sometimes. It sometimes feels a bit redundant already, all the preparation work I am putting in. And that is what sucks. That is what makes it quite hard to do that work. It's one of the only elements of this therapist education that I often postpone, or that I often procrastinate in. Reading texts, sign me right the fuck up. Looking at my own struggle with topics, sign me right the fuck up. And that is kind of intertwined with these supervision assignments for sure. But it is not as clear-cut, the relationship between what I want to do in my therapist education and what I have to do for the supervision. So yeah, it's just... It rubs me the wrong way a little bit sometimes. I don't quite enjoy it as much as the other elements. I still do it. I still do it because I need to do it. And because it is helpful. I would like some lifesteal. And it is helpful. But, I think I thought we were gonna make that jump Tony Hawk style. There are other elements that I would rather be investing my time in, like reading even more articles for my thesis, for my dissertation, which is something I did last week. Spent some time, yeah, some more lifesteal is nice. Spent some time reading up on how to deal with suicidal clients, because my client that I am writing my dissertation about is suicidal, and it was really, really interesting. One of the most interesting points is that, well, in my opinion, because it's something near and dear to my heart, is that with suicidal clients, more than with other clients even, you have to kind of throw yourself and your relationship with your client, not your personal relationship outside of therapy, but your relationship with your client into the mix as kind of a therapeutic tool. In a sense of also not in a manipulative, oh, if you would end your own existence, if you would kill yourself, that would really hurt me, please don't do it, I would miss you so much. Not in that kind of manipulative way, but in a way of like making the other person realize that the relationship the two of you have is real, is substantial, has meaning, and that if that person would rob himself, herself in my case, of her own life, it would hurt you, it would take its toll on you. And it is something I have done already towards, I'll go for some max HP, towards the client that I am using, that I am looking at for my dissertation. But something that I was sometimes a bit doubtful about, like, is it okay to do that? And now getting that confirmation of reading an article written by quite a well-renowned person in the field. Upon taking damage, slow down time and deal double damage. Yeah, okay. Quite a person with quite some renown in the field, quite a famous person, if you will, in the field. That kind of gave me some validation, some confirmation, some imposter syndrome counterance, or countering action. Yeah, beautiful. That I was doing a good job. And it's also nice that something I wanted to write about in my dissertation already, of like, yeah, this is something I do with my client, is now supported by what I find in literature. And that is nice. That is kind of also soothing towards some of that imposter syndrome feeling that you can definitely get as a therapist. It's not an exact science, so you sometimes are just reliant on what you think is correct. And if you then afterwards get the confirmation that you were thinking correctly, yeah, give me some jump height. That is nice. That is nice. I think I don't need to explain that further, but I am using a lot of words to explain it further for some reason. And maybe it is because I have a YouTube channel and I need to provide some commentary in order for these things not to get boring as well. Look at the speed. This is why I like Calcium. You have the speed. Oh, okay. Wall hugger. So you can avoid fall damage by hugging walls, and it is an intended game mechanic. It turns this game into kind of, this is what I told my buddy Krogrin when I was playing this game at his house, it turns this game kind of into a CSGO surfing game sometimes. I would like a nice bone upgrade, which is something I could say in real life about my sexual frustration as well. I'm getting a new house. I'm transferring myself over to a new space starting March, and I am looking forward to it to a very, very large extent. Having my own safe space again, having my own base of operations again, having one single room to keep clean and in check again. I hope I will find the courage to really openly tell people about this YouTube thing and about my making music endeavors and stuff, and allowing myself to be loud. Not really loud, not like obnoxiously loud because I want to be a good roommate, but loud enough to continue my passions, to continue doing these types of things, to continue my creative endeavors, and not become a shy, silent, never disturbing anyone around me. I'll go for a damage tome. Never disturbing anyone around me, shy version of myself again. This is my passion, this is what I want to do. And speaking English often entails talking a little bit more loudly for some reason, so I want to keep doing that. Again, with all due respect for the people surrounding me, and without becoming a burden for them. Give me this cooldown upgrade. I want to move around the map a little bit more quickly for a second, because I want to find, well, health first of all, but I also want to find a suck altar. Because I feel like we have left a bunch of experience behind, and I feel like leveling up a bunch of times is really what we need for now. These axes are defensive if they knock back enemies, so I think I will go for that upgrade. Power-up drop chance is nice because we are using our power-ups quite often. But my main goal is completing this challenge, which I guess, now that I think about it, now that I remember that I am in just a challenge run, why the fuck am I taking those boss altars? And why the fuck am I making things more difficult? Because I think the only thing that I need to do is complete this run in any way, shape or form, so why make the challenge more challenging? And I guess the answer is because I ain't no bitch, and mama ain't raised no quitter, and all of that good shit. Look at this, even more difficulty. See if I care. See if I give a damn. Okay, those are a lot of stone golems. Do we have the damage? I feel like I normally want a gun weapon at this stage of the game to really deal the damage that I want to deal, but it looks like our bone and fire staff are actually doing the trick already, because our axes were not really involved in that fight. The distance between me and the bosses was the same as the distance between me and some salvation from my sexual frustration. Namely, it was too large. If you flip your words about 12 times before getting the punchline of the joke out, it loses some of its power. That's a free lesson in comedy you get from me on the Onkruid channel today. I feel like we have cleared out most of the important things on the map by now, so maybe moving over to the boss altar and just going for it is actually not a bad idea. Goddamn, okay, learn how to speak. I am probably gonna do something else productive this evening. Recording and editing and uploading is quite productive, but something like a little bit more reading. I started In a Little Life by Hanya Yanagihira, which is an Hawaiian, Texan, New York-based writer, if I'm not mistaken. It's a book that I have encountered a couple of times in my life already. A couple of different friends have told me about it. One friend, of whom I really respect the opinions when it comes to books, considering she is also working in a bookshop, told me once that she read that book almost throughout the entire night. She stayed up until 5 in the morning to read it, which is a sign of like, okay, it must be a good book then. Another friend already read the book, but still wanted to have it in her collection, and that's why I have the book right now, because I found it for her in a second-hand bookshop. And then, Turbo Mode challenge complete. Okay, so we did that. Does that mean that we now... Well, we have to survive for a little bit longer. Does that mean that we now have to... That we now get that benefit just eternally? Just in every single run we do? Because that would be interesting. I'm going for all the tome upgrades I can find. Oh, look at that. Turbo skates. We love that. Let's find some more pots. I feel like the pots respawn throughout the run. Oh, and another weapon slot as well. That is beautiful. I am losing track of my train of thought. That's what I'm noticing as well. Doing something more productive. Reading. Found this book in a second-hand bookstore. And then another friend of mine, a person who is becoming nearer and dearer, you know I love to use those words when I'm talking about my friends, told me, oh yeah, I just recently read this book, it was really crazy, I spent a lot of hours reading it, and it was the same goddamn book. And that was the last sign I need to give this book kind of some priority in my to-be-read list, because there is a bunch of things still on my to-be-read list, especially also now articles for my dissertation, and still I'm giving this the #1 priority, and I invested some time into reading it already. I'm at page 100 almost, I think, and it's quite enjoyable. It is a bit of a coming-of-age story about 4 friends in New York, and the friends are described in interesting ways. The character building is already becoming quite interesting, quite intriguing. Duration tome, because of I upgraded X to a nice and large level. Let's try and look for a couple of more pots, but I think this run is bound to be over almost. Another pop of our legendary item, our legendary defensive item, but I don't think we... Oh, well, yeah, let's go for the spicy meatball and hope that it procs a bunch of times, because it could potentially save our ass a little bit. And now let's just try and move around as quickly as possible to escape some of this ghost influence. But as calcium, you lose a bunch of your movement speed as soon as you get hit. And we are about to get cornered, I think, because we are really getting bumped around. There we go. So, we completed the turbo mode challenge. What does this mean? What does this entail for us? A nice amount of silver, first of all. Forest tier 1 turbo mode. Yeah, okay. Confirm. So, unlocks. There's no new hats to buy. I want to buy the items first. Any more legendaries? Yes, let's buy the Sucky Magnet. That's nice. Periodically Dragon All XP. And I know about Bob from my friend. I want to use Bob on calcium. For every 14 units moved, summon Bob. He is dead. Rest in peace, Bob. Plus, okay. Okay, so plus 1.5% silver gain for enabling the challenge. I finally learned how to read apparently. But because we have completed it, we get plus 1% silver permanently. And that is for any challenge. Nice, I think we can do some more of them in the next episode. Thank you very much for watching. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.